Hi there everyone, Rob here with EarthquakeReport.com. Today's update is on a very devastating earthquake that just occurred just outside of Van, Turkey here at 10:41 Universal Time. That's about 13:41 local where this earthquake occurred. Just outside of Van, as already noted, it was a 7.2 magnitude earthquake occurring here. Depth about 20 kilometers deep. So just a quick comparison with some other devastating earthquakes around the world. For example, the 7.0 earthquake in Haiti was about the same magnitude and depth, and it was actually a little bit less of a magnitude of this, and that had caused all the devastation and damage out there. So at this time we are expecting fatalities out of this earthquake. So really a sad situation at this time, and kind of a frightening situation, as a 7-story building has already been reported collapsed in Van here. Lots of people have been trapped. Several hundred houses reported damaged or destroyed in this earthquake. So really it's actually frightening news out of that, since it has been a short amount of time since the earthquake actually occurred. But if you're not familiar with the landscape out here, it is nestled in the mountains throughout this entire area, relatively rural throughout much of the region, outside of a few pockets of cities here. And actually this is an overlook of Van. Not too many high superstructures out here, but we are getting the reports of some of the higher buildings suffering damage with this. But if you look at the population density, this is where the epicenter occurred, right here in Turkey, in eastern Turkey. This is Van down here towards the south. You see that little area in red, that's just showing the higher population. And also you do have some of these cities in the outskirts here, but really where we're seeing the highest amount of reports and amount of reports of damage and where people felt this is out of that city. And actually this is just looking at one of the reports, just showing an extreme shaking. You don't really see these too often out here, is when you have a 10 on the intensity that people are reporting on this. So that's just showing that the severity of this is on a fairly high magnitude. But this is just looking at the overall shake map. This one is a computer generated shake map, and just noting that some of these areas in red are also up in the violent section of this. So really many of the people in this rural part here just northeast of Van definitely felt a very strong shaking with this, but even in some of the city areas. So no reports of any casualties at this time yet. We are expecting some fatalities to be reported with this. But if we look back in history, actually over the past 100 years, there has been reports of earthquakes. Actually in 1941 an earthquake killed 200 to 400 people in the same area here as well, and that one was actually weaker than a 6.0 magnitude. So actually, while I'm just talking here, another aftershock just occurred here as well, and you should continue to expect these aftershocks over the next several days and even into weeks, since this is a relatively shallow earthquake and a 7.2 magnitude, so very strong. So please continue to check back here at Quake SOS, and also at EarthquakeTACReport.com. That's EarthquakeTACReport.com for any reports on this. And also, if you have any information, please feed them in here. This website really depends on people here on the ground and feeding information directly into the site as well. So thanks again for watching, everybody, and please hope for the best for all the people out here in Turkey as this situation continues to develop.